Hello, good afternoon from me, Steve Lazarus, and the Disasters in the Home community for our regular weekly update on this Sunday, the 12th of May 2013. It's supposed to be a regular weekly update, but I've had my own mini disaster in the home over the last couple of weeks, insofar as we've had no Wi-Fi access due to the poor service by our internet broadband provider. They've been passing the buck to BT, BT had been passing the buck back to the provider, and so it went on. And anyway, here we are, after much toing and froing, now back up and running. So, what to talk about? Well, I looked at a news article in the Daily Telegraph a couple of weeks ago, which I was going to discuss. And it's a story which is all too common about a family who had a fire in the home which destroyed a lot of their contents, and the insurance company's own loss adjusters refused to deal with a claim or to process the claim. They accepted liability, but they refused to process the claim unless the claimant, the policyholder, could provide them with documentary evidence for all the items that they had lost. Now, clearly this is absolutely nonsense, because you just don't keep receipts or photographs for everything that you have in the home. Now, it is a condition of the policy that the insurance company can request or require you to provide all such documentary evidence as they consider to be reasonably necessary to support the claim. And you would expect insurance companies to want reasonable evidence for certain items, say the higher value, the higher ticket items, like large recent purchases such as a high value television or a fridge freezer or computers or so on and so forth. But clearly, for a loss adjuster to say they're not going to process the claim because you've got no documentary evidence, and in some cases, I've come across many cases where a lot of the evidence has actually been destroyed in the fire or chucked out by the fire brigade, and in those circumstances it's clearly unreasonable for them to expect such documentary proof to be provided. Ultimately, in this case, the policyholder, the claimant, made representations to the newspaper and shone a light on the practices of the loss adjusting practice and the insurance company, who are Royal Bank of Scotland, RBS, and ultimately the claim was progressed, although it took a lot longer than it should have done. What I strongly recommend, and here's today's tip, what I strongly recommend is that even though you don't know you're going to have a theft or a fire or water damage or whatever, but typically a theft, for example, you don't know when that's going to happen, go around room by room, taking a brief inventory of all your items, and take photographs, 4 or 5 photographs of each room, and store them somewhere. Store it on the cloud, store it offline, but store it somewhere, and keep a note of make and model numbers in particular. And if you can, scan and keep receipts for all high ticket items. So that way, if in the event you do have a problem in the home, you've got documentary evidence, and insurers can't argue with you at that stage. Basically, you say, this is what I had, this is what's been stolen, here's the proof of ownership. Ironically, they can turn around and say, well, why have you taken all these photographs? Were you expecting a theft or a fire? I've had that as well. They can't have it both ways. Clearly, it's better to have proof of ownership than nothing at all. So avoid these little hassles. If you have a disaster in the home and you make an insurance claim, you want it to go smoothly. So photographs, documentary evidence, keep them in a pouch, scan them, keep them offline somewhere secure, so that in the event of an incident you can produce the documents. That's it for this week. It's good to be back, and I hope to be back with you next week. If you've got any queries, please post them on the forum, and we'll see you very soon. Take care.